The headlines: suspected cultists kill 3, about Northern elders demand justice for Kaduna bombing victims. NLC plans meeting over new minimum wage. Federal government frees about 68 inmates in Zaria. And from the foreign scene, floods, landslide killed dozens in northern Tanzania. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. The Northern Elders Forum, the NFF, has said that Sunday's accidental bombing of the Tudun Biri in Kaduna State by the Nigerian army is a matter of serious army drone that kills the Maulud celebrants in Kaduna State. The Northern Elders Forum, the NEF, has said that Sunday's accidental bombing, of course, has caused concern to the people regarding the safety and well-being of the civilians in conflict zones. The forum demands a thorough investigation into the incident, which claimed the lives of dozens of innocent civilians. The Director of Publicity and Advocacy of NEF, Abdulaziz Suleiman, in a statement on Tuesday, said that the elders understood that the Kaduna State government had risen onto the occasion and pledged that the victims of the strike would be compensated. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has sympathized with the family of the victims, the people and government of Kaduna State over the bombing mishap in a village of Tudumbiri in Igabi local government area of the state. In a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, President Tinubu describes the incident as very unfortunate, disturbing and painful, expressing indignation and grief over the tragic loss of the Nigerian lives. The president directs a thorough and full-fledged investigation into the incident and calls for calm while the authorities look diligently into the mishap. Away from that, in an effort to rid the state of crime and criminalities, the Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, paraded 2 wanted leaders of Degam and Iceland cult groups in Ogoni axis of the state. The 2 gang leader was paraded alongside a number of suspects for a variety of crimes ranging from kidnapping, armed robbery, and murder, among others. The report.
It's the media briefing of the Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, at the command headquarters in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital. The new Commissioner of Police warned criminal elements in the states to stay clear or be ready to face the full weight of the law. CP Olatunji Disu made this known while parading a group of suspects who are accused of burying alive the Community Development Committee chairman of Korekembua community of Rivers State.
They murdered the victim after collecting the sum of 200,000 naira as part of the payment of ransom for his life. The duo confessed to murdering 9 other suspects, other victims from 2021 to 2023, and were main reasons for the partial evacuation of the community within that same period. Investigation is still ongoing to uncover the full scale of the suspect's operation.
Among them are the leaders of the notorious Degbam and Iceland cult groups who are accused of burying their Community Development Committee chairman alive in Kana local government area.
The government have given us peace and we have submitted. Let bygone be bygone. So I don't expect why they are arresting us and giving us charge.
But they say you collected 200,000 ransom.
It was the community money that we contribute to him. 7 million naira. He now eat our money and use the money and fight against us.
Okay, is that the reason you revenged?
Yes.
So what was the money about?
It was the money that we contribute to make a better thing in the community. He now used the money and sponsor the other side, and he was involved in the killing of 7 innocent people in the community.
So how many of your own people did you kill?
He was the one that involved in the killing of 7 innocent people in our community.
When people retaliated, how many of his own group did you kill?
It's only him, sir.
But we hear you killed about 3 of them.
The other 2 people are courtesans.
Okay, those ones are courtesans.
Yes, sir.
Going to prison now is not a game. I'm pleading. I will sign undertaking on their behalf. I will sign undertaking on their behalf. I will. No, sir. When I come out, I did not involve in crime. But just because I'm a leader, anything they do, they will put on Iceland, so I will not deny. But I'm here to plead that they should help me. They should have mercy on me. I'm begging my chief also.
The traditional ruler of Kerenkebua community, however, displays some photographs showing some of the deceased. As he says, the community had to flee because of the cultists.
They are about to cause war between the Andoni axis with us. So we are crying to the government today to save us from the hands of the activities of these children.
Also displayed were weapons and ammunition recovered from the suspects.
Now, following the confessions made by the suspected IPOB ESN terrorist allegedly involved in the killing of DPO Ahiazum Baise and other dastardly acts in the Mbaise axis, the police authority says their operatives of the command's anti-kidnapping squad, led by CSP Oladimeji Odeyeyiwa, who has been at the center stage of the investigation on Monday, stormed the criminal hideouts of the deadly IPOB ESN terrorist syndicate at Umogu Amuzu in Abo Mbaise local government area of Imo State and dislodged the terrorists. The police engaged the terrorists in fierce battle. In the process, the second-in-command to Ebube Virus, who is famous on the command's wanted list, was neutralized, while others escaped with gunshot injuries. One AK-47 rifle loaded with 19 rounds of live ammunition was recovered from the neutralized terrorists. The command spokesperson, ASP Henry Okoye, in a press release on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, CP Lenjuma Aboki, said the operation is in progress to track down order-fleeing suspects and make them face the full wrath of the law. The Nigerian Labour Congress is expected to meet ahead of the resumption of negotiation between the federal government and the organized labor on the new minimum wage. Now, this is to arrive at a living wage which commiserates with the prevailing cost of living. The NLC President, Joe Ajaero, stated this at the opening session of the NLC 2023 Hamatan School with the theme Building Worker Skills for Policy Engagement in Abuja on Monday. Ajaero, represented by the Deputy President, Benjamin Anthony, said that in the face of the adversity and brutality encountered while advocating for the rights of workers to earn their legitimate income and benefits, the union's resolve remains unwavering. In politics, the ruling All Progressive Congress, the APC, has postponed the inauguration of its standing committee's earlier schedule for Wednesday indefinitely. Now, briefing newsmen at the end of the 138th meeting of the National Working Committee, the NWC, at the APC National Secretariat on Monday in Abuja, the party's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka, said a new date for the inauguration will be announced later. Moka, however, declined questions on why the inauguration was postponed in the first place. The federal government has freed 68 inmates in Zaria Custodial Center as part of an effort to decongest the correctional facilities across the country. The Controller of Correctional Service, Kaduna State, Ado Saleh, said the federal government has settled 52 million naira fines and compensation for the 399 inmates at various correctional centers across Kaduna State. The ceremony in Zaria was a continuation of the program that was designed and implemented by the federal government. In total, 399 inmates in Kaduna State were marked to be released at the cost of 52 million naira. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Ojo, had said no fewer than 4,068 inmates will benefit from the initiative across the country. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we'll tell you why residents decry high cost of transportation. These and more after the break. Stay with us.
We started manufacturing leather since 1958. But the most important thing is that if the system is checked correctly, we won't have where we are now.
If somebody has depression, they may just be very irritable and unproductive in the office. So you find on average already about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 Nigerians already have mental illness, a mental health condition that needs some form of attention.
No matter how good an economy is, if the federal government goes bust, believe me, everything in the economy is just a matter of time it will go bust. So first of all, about maybe slightly above, below 70% is in federal government securities.
If government has banned importation of fertilizer and states are doing it at the level of governance, but I believe that production and distribution of fertilizer should be left to the private sector.
This is the general multi-purpose card, and it has a chip here. So this chip is about 80 kilobytes. The one that you get from the bank for ATM is just 4 kilobytes. So this is like 20 times.
Should I keep quiet? And then we kept saying, can't we teach these people basic business, not hustling? Teach our people entrepreneurship, not hustling. Go to China, Guangzhou, different districts. They can turn fair. Am I saying what you don't know?
So this about this thing.
Yeah, but this time around we are talking about appointment of ministers, where there is an express provision in the constitution as regards that.
Let's come to appointments. You know, it is the status of FCT that the constitution has made is too complicated for people to understand.
However, if you are to go backwards and do a kind of audit, you will be shocked to find that the resources so far expended on the SDGs far outstrips the achievements face to face.
Most of the time when you are involved, it's difficult for you to draw back and have a holistic view, because what? Sentiment would always come to play, because all of us would definitely, I had, like I told you yesterday, I was 100% convinced that you cannot say you are qualified without bringing any document.
What NAFDAC is doing is making sure we are safeguarding the health of the nation.
80 million people have been accounted for that have glaucoma worldwide.
The Nutrition Society of Nigeria is laying emphasis on exclusive breastfeeding of our babies.
The incidence of kidney disease in children has also been rising, with an estimated 1 in 10 Nigerian children affected.
And that sometimes those products contain things that could harm you more than you would expect. So you would have long-term damage which could affect your health over time.
Intermittent fasting indeed is beneficial.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Northern elders demand justice for Kaduna bombing victims. And NLC plans meeting over new minimum wage. Moving on to more stories, the Borno State Governor, Babagana Zulum, says his administration is committed to ensuring that people living with disabilities have equal rights to education, healthcare, vocational training, and employment, among others. Governor Zulum stated this during the commemoration of the International Day of People with Disability in Maiduguri. The governor, who was represented by the Commissioner for Intergovernmental and Special Duties, Ibrahim Tukur, noted that the state government has implemented policies and initiatives to promote the inclusion of PWDs and eliminate discrimination against them. The theme of this year's World Day of Disabled Persons is Renewing Hope Together for Disability Inclusive Society.
In line with our pragmatic policy initiative, we have taken significant strides to ensure the inclusion of persons with disability in our society. Our efforts encompasses accessible infrastructure, inclusive education, vocational training, and employment opportunities, yet we acknowledge that there is still much work to be done.
Again, over 700 women with disabilities were trained in poultry farming and supported with chicks, feeds, and hatchery machines in MMC Algeria local government areas. This we did in collaboration with Catholic Relief Service. In the last 5 years of the administration of His Excellency, Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, all distributions of palliatives and startup kits by his wife, our First Lady, Her Excellency Dr. Falmata Babagana Umara Zulum, has always reserved a certain percentage for people living with disabilities. This is also reflected in political representations, where from the ward, local government to state levels, people living with disabilities occupy political positions.
To the policy makers, we urge you to enact laws that protect the rights and individual disability, ensuring equal access to education, employment, and healthcare. To educators, we implore you to embrace inclusive practices, creating classrooms that nurture the talents of every student, regardless of their abilities. To the employers, we challenge you to open your doors to the diverse talent of individual disability, creating workplaces that embrace their neurodiversity and foster innovation.
Commuters in Imo State are beginning to express dissatisfaction with the hike in transport fares in the state. Now, this is because most commuters' bus drivers have increased their fares, a situation that the residents say they are not comfortable with anymore. Ajibade Praise was on the streets of Owerri, the state's capital, from where he filed in this report. Take a look.
It is not news that the increment in fuel pump price has also affected the transportation fare in the state. Residents from all walks of life who make use of commercial transportation in the state have continued to lament over the hike in price of their transportation, especially those who have cause to move on daily basis. Transporters in the state have all increased their charges to double the initial amount, and in some cases, triple. This is one development the public transport users are not finding funny.
From me coming from Oji into Junction to here now cost me about 200. I even have to bargain with the driver to get for 200 because he was telling me 250 from Imsu Junction. Before now we take it we enter the vehicle on 100 naira level.
We are lamenting.
Like where you are going to now, how much do you used to go there before and how much are you using now?
But now it's 150. I don't know.
something else.
Masses have been complaining deeply due to the increasement of the fuel rates, and the drivers, if you're just approaching or maybe moving towards a short distance, a distance that will normally pay for 50 or 100 naira this time around, they keep asking you to pay 150 or 200 naira just because of the increasement of the fuel.
Some of the drivers who spoke on the matter said they are equally not happy with the development, adding that they also suffer the same fate. According to them, most of the money they make goes back to fueling their cars, considering the high cost of fuel, leaving them with little or nothing to meet their family needs.
It's very difficult for us to make to beat up with the price these days. The high cost of the fuel is affecting us seriously. All the days when we get our business done, at the end of it, you see that we don't have anything. They gave it, we struggle and we go to give them back to the filling station people.
The residents also expressed bitterness over the failure of government to provide solution to the problem, despite several calls on them to look into the matter.
Because if everybody is clamoring and everybody is shouting and saying and government, but everything keeps on increasing, everything keeps on getting worse. I can't even express it anymore. So I don't know if you can depend on the government anymore.
From the passengers to the drivers, the story is the same. The cost of transportation is very high in the state. And of course, this was triggered by the hike in the fuel pump price. They are calling on government to see a way they can ameliorate these menace. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
In the foreign scene, at least 47 people have been killed and 85 others injured in landslide caused by the flooding in northern Tanzania. The district commissioner, Janet Mayanja, said heavy rain on Saturday hit the town of Katesh, some 300 kilometers, about 186 miles north of the capital, Dodoma. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan, in Dubai for the COP28 climate conference, sent her condolences and ordered the deployment of more government efforts to rescue the people. The rescue workers in Zambia are still searching on Monday for at least 25 informal miners buried alive for 4 days ago by the mudslide at an open-pit copper mine. Now, the mines minister, Paul Kabupswe, said the miners at Siseli mine in Chingola, about 400 kilometers, 250 miles northwest of the capital, Lusaka, are trapped in 3 places on Thursday night, and heavy rains had flooded the pit. The rescue mission began early Friday, and while it remains unclear how many miners were trapped, Kabupswe said 25 families had so far come forward to claim missing relatives who were missing at the mine when the accident happened. The rescue workers, including military personnel and others from large-scale mining companies, were being cautious due to the soft ground slowing down the operation. In sports, the Super Eagles forward Victor Osimhen has added yet another gong to his growing list of accolades after scooping the Footballer of the Year prize for 2023 at the AIC Oscar del Calcio Awards. Osimhen was instrumental for Napoli as they raced to their first Serie A title in 33 years earlier this year. The Nigerian scored 26 league goals to land the gong at the Italian Footballers Association Football of the Year award ceremony on Monday night. Featherweight world champion Amanda Serrano has vacated her WBC title after the organization refused to sanction 12 3-minute round contests. Serrano, 35, retained her WBA, WBO an IBF title against Daniela Ramos by unanimous decision in October. Now, the women's bouts are usually contested over 10 two-minute rounds. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.